Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Libra. So Libra, as usual, I'm doing a reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So Libra, it seems like you're very decided about something and you're following the guidance of your inner truth to get out of a tricky situation, which feels like coming out of a cave, out of the shadows, out of, you know, um, out of a place where you were surrounded by nightmares and demons and, your shadows, things that were weighing you down and creating some sort of dark night of the soul, to be honest. But it seems like you not only find a way out, but you're so determined to go in that direction because you know that that is the true way to go, that it's sterilizing. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's the word that I'm hearing with a certain card here, which is, the central card, to be honest. And in doing so, it's like you're acquiring a certain set of skills or mentality that is serving as a shield to protect you from the darkness around you. The heavy weight of the things that could, keep you stuck in that darkness. And it's like how to make your way through that, and it's almost like exit that situation harmless, but also, ready for the next thing, which seems to be like, bigger adventures. And those big adventures are going to lead you to shedding more sides of yourself in encounters with others. So there you go. That's the entire message. But okay, so let's dive into the cards. Because I feel like you are in this strong knowing with this Ace of Swords. So this basically comes as truth, but actually the way that I heard this card, it's like that scene in King Arthur, where King Arthur, removes the sword from the stone, and it's like it really changes everything about the path forward. And I feel like there's something that is, I was going to say the word brave, but it doesn't really seem like brave. It feels almost, unexpectedly easy, right? It's like you finding a way out. Because, okay, so what I heard was, I know what I have to do. It's like that instant insight, right? It's like the aha moment where you know the truth, you know the way out, you know where to go or what to do. It's like you're seeing that it's like that very it's coming through as a sliver of light. It's like this very, but it doesn't really matter how small it is. It's about the knowingness that gives you this decisiveness, right? It's like you know now what to do, and you know how to get out of this situation, because it feels very heavy and very weighed down because of the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords was giving me the impression of this dark cave, right? Full of bats and, spiders and, these crawling creatures and, demons and, all of these things that our imagination goes wild, right? When we think of a dark space that we have no idea what's in there. It's like that's how the Nine of Swords was talking about, and showing me this sword in the middle is this one, right? It's like this is the way that I was perceiving the Nine of Swords. It's like before you found this ace, it's like you were in the eight, right? You were in the Eight of Swords, so you were in the middle. It's like everything that was, it's like the darkness was getting closer, right? It's like you were in the middle of the darkness. So the moment that you find this truth, that you find this guiding light or this way out, it's like it opens, right? It's like everything that was keeping you stuck in that, maybe we're just talking about fear, right? It's like pure fear. There was just, it's almost like I'm seeing this quicksand, but it's almost like in your mind, right? This, it's like this loop, right? That it's always keeping you in more and more fear. But the moment that you have this insight, sorry about the noise. The moment that you find this truth, that you have this aha moment, it seems like the darkness opens up, right? It's like it's like fear is no longer, or maybe you are no longer attached to fear. What I was going to say was, fear is no longer attached to you, but maybe you are no longer attached to fear, because it's like you, the thing about the Nine of Swords is that the same thing that you're holding as this element, as this piece of wisdom, as this knowingness that is helping you to leave the situation, is from the same realm, right? So it's like, it's almost like this, you know, kind of like a trickster. It's like you were, or you are just, you know, about to leave a situation where a trickster spirit dominates the scene. And it feels very energetic, right? It feels like very dense. And it's interesting because yesterday in Virgo's reading, we had this transmutation of the density coming at, you know, at the very end of the extended part. And so I feel like for you, Libra, there's something about this knowingness that now you're carrying almost as a torch, but also as this, you know, sword that King Arthur pulls from the rock, which seems to be a very impossible task, right? When we think of that, but it seems very obvious to you. It seems like it's very, not easy, but it feels just seamless, right? It feels, well, now that you hold this sword of truth in your hand, it seems like there's nothing that can stop you from leaving this cave, this darkness, this, you know, dark situation, or this dark night of the soul. And I feel like this is extremely empowering, because the Nine of Pentacles, right? So this is the card of independence and sovereignty, and this, it's almost like the way that I'm seeing the Nine of Pentacles in comparison to the Nine of Swords, and I almost said Eight of Pentacles, because also the Nine of Swords came, you know, as this next step once you find this, you know, from the Eight of Swords. So perhaps it's like the Nine of Pentacles also is like this one step, because of this, you know, from working through the Eight of Swords, right? So it's like this kind of like step up from the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles to the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So it's like one thing is completely interlaced with the other, right? It's like they are one and the same. But it's almost like you know, remember when I was talking about, like, because the swords are all going in the same direction, I feel like it's almost like you know that you're going to be walking through darkness, right? It's still going to be, you know, something that you will have to remain, you know, just you'll have to rely upon this knowingness, right? Because it seems like maybe you were too deep in this cave, maybe you were too deep in this fear, and that, you know, finding your way out, although now you know where is this way out, it's like you'll have to walk a bit, right? It's like it's not going to be this instant leaving the cave, right? It's like the exit is, it's longer, right? But the moment that you find this light, because I'm seeing this torch, right? It's almost like this sword becomes a torch in the middle of this darkness, right? And so because it's so dark, right? No matter how small this torch is, right, of, you know, a source of light, it's like it is going to attract attention, right? It's like the moth to the flame, right? So this is what I'm picking up. It's like more than ever, you're going to be seen by the darkness, if that makes sense. But that's exactly where you're going to find your sovereignty. And because what I heard with the Nine of Pentacles was that the moment that you hold this truth, the moment that you hold this sword or this torch, this light that is going to guide you out of this tricky situation, you are sterilizing the fear. It's like, you know, it's almost like a petrifying fear, right? Fear, although fear could follow you, it's like you're finding a way to petrify fear, to make fear stay where it is, because it's like you're not allowing it to follow you. It's like, yes, you have a long way out of this cave, out of this darkness, but with this in your hands, it's like you're sure of your power, of your strength, of your ability to set a boundary, right? It's like, because there's something that you see how it's like, I'm seeing this as like creating kind of like a cocoon, right? It's like your power, your sovereignty, your independence, your sense of, you know, individual strength. It's like, it's in a sense preventing fear to follow you. But I feel like, you know, this could have another interpretation, right? It's like the ability to overcome something when you are seeing the results, right? When you are seeing the evidence, or you're having proof in the manifest world, because it's the pentacles, right? So again, this relationship between the swords and the pentacles, which, you know, has been coming up in the recent readings, about the relationship between something that is completely abstract and something that is tangible, right? It's like you see, so it's almost like you perhaps were inhabiting a space, a mental space, where you were surrounded by fear and darkness and insecurity and all of these, you know, creeping, crawling creatures that were in this cave, right, inside your mind. All of this, you know, abstract, very maybe, you know, heavy, dense energy that was, you know, just feeding on itself to keep you there. But the moment that you find this way out, Libra, it's like you have proof that you're stronger than that, and that you're able to sterilize the action or the effect of these damaging thoughts, is what I just heard. You know, just impeding them to follow you wherever you're going. Because after this Nine of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Swords. So it's interesting because, you know, even like the sound, right? The sound is similar, 9-9, Knight. So maybe that's the thing, right? It's like the one less thing that you know that you needed to do to remove yourself from this place. It's like to know that your power is creating a shield. It's interesting because lately the knights have been coming through as like this stripping down of the armor, but to be honest, I feel like you are picking up your sword and you're putting on your armor, because it's like you're defending yourself, but, you know, creating a very empowering and sovereign shield, right? Shield of protection of your own against the creeping, crawling creatures that could follow you wherever you went, right? Because you have something that is very attractive to the shadows, to the fear, right? Which is like, you know, this piece of truth. So it's almost like, you know, this sword of truth that once it's removed from the stone, it's like you have hold of something that is incredibly empowering, and it gives you this independence, it gives you this sovereignty that really shows you the power for you to see how you can overcome something that is so formless, however, so real and so effective to a certain degree to keep you stuck in this cave, right? So I feel like here you are, you know, this is it's almost like this is young King Arthur, right? This is before King Arthur turns into the King of Swords, right? This is the uh what is the word? Apprentice, right? Apprentice of a King of Swords. But because you're still on your way out, right? You're still on your way out of this cave and finding your sovereignty, finding your independence, finding your power. Because your power is acting also as a tool as much as this torch, this guiding light that is showing your way out of this cave is acting, right? To keep you from the attachment to the fear, right? So you're putting on an armor that is helping to create this buffer zone or create this barrier, this boundary, this shield, right? To protect you from fear to follow you. And this is extremely, it's like it makes you feel good, right? It makes you feel like now you have control in a sense over something that perhaps, you know, not long ago you didn't feel like you had this guiding light, and now you do. And I feel like it's so empowering in terms of your mindset. Perhaps we are talking about, you know, strengthening your mindset to the point that you're no longer, you know, going to that shadowy place. Because I feel like from this point on, you feel like you're so strong, you're so empowered that you can go on bigger adventures. So the World card, you know, the World is the last card in the Major Arcana journey, right? So yes, it's talking about a phase that is coming to an end, but it's also, and it's interesting, something else, because the nines, right? It's like they give way to the 10. But recently in the what was the reading? Was it the Cancer reading? Was it the Leo reading? Or was it the Virgo reading? I think perhaps it was the Leo reading, where the new beginning was actually being shown as the 1.0 version, right? The higher octave of the beginning, right? Of the ace in a sense, although you do have the ace here. So it's like this, the 10 is the new ace for this higher octave, right? And so it feels like, yes, if you are in this 9, right, and you're showing up as the Knight, it's like you are ending a phase where perhaps you were in this lower realm, right? But being also, because, you know, remember I was talking about how the Ace of Swords is something that is from this realm, but it's like, because it needs to be compatible, because it's there, right? It's not from somewhere else. It's like the guiding light, the sword is, it's almost like it's hidden in the darkness, but it's somewhere there. And when you find, it's like you find your way out of the darkness, right? It's like you have to kind of like, you know, go, you know, sensing things, right? It's almost like you have to find yourself through the darkness, if that makes sense, because in the darkness there is this truth, there is this guiding light, there is this torch that is going to help you find your way. But so it seems like, yes, the traditional meaning of this like big conclusion of a chapter in your life, yes, it is happening, it's coming to an end, it's coming to a close. But actually what I saw with this World card is that because there is this big journey, right, out of this cave, out of this shadow, out of this dark night of the soul, it seems like you are feeling better and, you know, stronger and more sovereign, to the point that you recognize that with this shield that you have found, right, within your mind, within your being, you're capable of going on bigger adventures. It's like now that this one, which felt pretty intense, at least mentally, right? So maybe we're talking about, you know, mental illness or some sort of trauma or something like that. It's like you you close that chapter, but that makes way for something that is bigger, right? Something that is going to take you places, right? This is how I'm seeing this World card. And when you do, when you you kind of like open yourself to see where this guiding light is going to take you, right? Because one thing is for certain, you know that this guiding light of the Ace of Swords is taking you out of a situation, but where it's going to lead you, this is the part that you still don't know, but you're eager to learn more, or to just experience what new things, new places, new situations, and especially new people you're going to meet along the way. Because here we have another Knight, and this is the Knight of Cups. So, but the Knight of Cups here is playing double duty, because at the same time that is representing another, it's actually acting as a mirror to yourself, because it's also a Knight. And I feel like this is important because being the Knight of Cups and you coming as the Knight of Swords, the struggle perhaps that you were immersed in, that you were in this cave, seems to be something that was, you know, in your mental space, right? In your head space. The first one I want to say that you meet once this chapter is over and you're out and about, right? It's like you're seeing the world at large, right? You're no longer stuck in the cave. So now you're seeing the entire world for, you know, what it is, or just for the bigness that it is, right? It's like you're seeing people, or you're seeing one person, and I want to say this one is just the first, right? It's going to be multiple, because we have the Eight of Cups. So I'm seeing all of these cups as, you know, people that you're going to meet along this journey of yours. Once this phase of dealing with your shadows is over, right? They represent mirrors to your heart, right? It's like they are all, it's like you're not, the thing about what this Knight of Cups is representing and the Eight of Cups is representing is that these are people that are not meant to stay long-term in your life. You're just meant to cross paths with them because they have important pieces of your heart that you need to see about yourself, right? It's like in meeting them, you're going to see your heart in a different way, but you're meant to leave. It's not like, you know, you're going to meet the people that you're going to spend your entire life with. It's like a quick encounter, because, you know, the Eight of Cups is like this goodbye, right? So it's like but that's the thing, it's like, you know, the same way that you were overcoming the shadows, the darkness, all of these, you know, negative thoughts that, you know, you were detaching from because you found a way to sterilize them. So you're no longer attached to the thoughts, and, you know, as much as the thoughts are no longer attached to you, so you managed to detangle them. And I feel like it's the same thing, you know, when you're out there exploring the world, because you haven't seen the world much, right, lately, because you were stuck in that cave. There's something that you find very, well, first of all, heartwarming to even have the chance to encounter people who are in similar situations, right? That are also, you know, it's like discovering their own power in the way to becoming, you know, the king and queens of their lives. Because as much as you are this apprentice of King Arthur, it's like, I feel like they are also, right, in a different way, with a different backstory, with a different background. But they have a lot to show you about your heart. And even though they are going to say goodbye, or you are going to say goodbye eventually, it's like yes, there is this sadness, right? But there's also a lot that you gain from meeting these people, right? Being, you know, maybe somebody in particular who's going to be the first that you meet once you're out. Maybe it's going to open this sliver in your heart, right? And I feel like no matter like how little you get to spend time with them, or, you know, for how long they are in your life. It really doesn't matter, right? If it's, you know, a short time or a longer time. It's just the fact that there are going to be lots of hearts that are going to touch you, and that you're going to feel transformed by leaving them, right? It's like being characters in this story of King Arthur, right? It's like the transformation of this apprentice of the King Arthur before it becomes King Arthur. It's because of all of the people that, you know, you're going to meet throughout the world, right? It's like, that's the sensation that I'm having, right? In order for you to become this King Arthur, it's like you're still in this night phase where you're discovering your power, you're just becoming more and more sovereign the more that you meet these people, right? So it's like, it's enriching, although it's sad. So I am going to pull more cards for you, as well as the astrological runes. So if you want to join me in the extended reading, I'll be happy to see you there. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.